The man's hands are thick, calloused from years of construction. He rolls a pen between his fingers, anxious.
I've waited 18 years for this moment. He hasn't even looked up.
She sets her portfolio on the table. He glances up, a brief appraisal, then back to his papers. No recognition.
He doesn't know. The last name changed. The title on the door changed. He doesn't know it's me.
The meeting was called to order. Crestline Builders had been circling bankruptcy for a year. Today, the buyer would dictate terms.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate the opportunity to present our firm's value.
We've reviewed the numbers. Your company has solid assets but a cash flow problem.
I understand the situation. I'm here to discuss whatever terms are necessary.
Whatever terms. You said that once, when I was 12, with a ledger. You didn't mean it then either.
Through the glass, the skyline was indifferent. The negotiation was minutes old, and already the past clawed at the edges of the room. Summer of 1999. The wedding was 3 weeks old when Robert sat 12-year-old Ashley down at the kitchen table.
Your mother and I agree. You need to learn how the real world works. Starting today, you'll pay $40 a week to live here. Rent.
Rent? I'm 12. I make $35 a week babysitting.
He pulled a fresh ledger from his satchel, a black hardcover notebook, and wrote the first entry in careful block letters.
You'll hand me the money every Friday. I'll mark it here. Builds character.
That Friday, she placed 4 crumpled $10 bills on the table. He counted them, made the entry, and snapped the ledger shut.
He didn't say thank you. He never said thank you.
The ledger became a fixture. Date, amount, his initials, no exceptions, no excuses.
My bedroom still had the old carpet, the previous owner's wallpaper. I learned not to ask for anything.
Susan watched from the hallway, her silence a kind of permission. By 14, Ashley had 3 regular babysitting families. She learned to count coins before she had a bank account.
$40. Every Friday. He never asked about my week, only if the money was right.
The ledger grew thick with entries. 1999 became 2000, then 2001. Each page turned was another week of her childhood, filed away.
You'll thank me one day, Ashley, when you're out in the real world and know how to handle money.
My mother smiled at dinner and passed the peas. She never asked him to stop, not once.
She learned to budget for pencils and notebooks, never for a movie ticket or a new shirt.
I started to hate the sound of my own footsteps on the stairs. Every creak meant I was costing him something.
Character isn't built on handouts. It's built on responsibility. You're learning what that means.
The wallpaper in her room started peeling at the seams. She stopped asking for it to be fixed. The ledger never judged. It simply recorded, line by line, the exact price of her presence in that house. June 2005. The ledger held exactly 6 years of entries. Ashley placed her 40th dollar on the table for the last time.
That's the last one, Ashley. Don't worry, I've been putting every cent aside for you. Consider it an investment.
He's lying. He won't even look at me.
The next morning, before dawn, she packed a single suitcase and left for a college she'd gotten into on a scholarship she'd earned entirely alone. 2 months later, a letter arrived in Robert's careful handwriting, claiming he'd placed the full amount in a growth fund for her.
I called the number on the letterhead. It was disconnected the next day. There was no investment.
She sat on her dorm bunk, staring at the letter until the ink seemed to mock her. Then she took out her financial aid notice and placed them side by side.
$14,800. I tallied it once when he was out. He never knew I counted.
She burned the letter in the metal trash can, watching the edges curl black. The smoke rose gray and acrid, carrying away the last 6 years.
I will never be powerless again. I will make certain of it.
12 years later, Ashley Reeves was a director of acquisitions at a mid-sized private equity firm. The old wallpaper was gone, replaced by floor-to-ceiling glass. A junior analyst dropped a distressed asset file on her desk. The cover sheet read, Crestline Builders.
Crestline Builders. Robert Haskins' company. The one that bled me dry.
3 years of mismanagement had left it bleeding out. The cash flow was a flat line. She closed the file for a long moment, then opened it again.
I could let it drown, or I could buy it and bleed him back.
By noon, she asked her managing partner for the lead.
I want to lead the Crestline acquisition. I've tracked their sector for months. No one else has my read on it.
No one questioned it. Her record was impeccable.
He never invested a dime for me. Now I'll buy his whole world, and he won't see me coming.
That evening, alone in her office, Ashley picked up her phone and dialed a number she had avoided for months.
Ashley? Sweetheart, it's so good to hear your voice. It's been too long.
Hi, Mom. I've been meaning to call. How are things?
I left Robert. 3 years ago, I found that later of his and I couldn't. I should have stopped him. I failed you.
You did fail me, but I've learned to survive without either of you.
I know, I'm so ashamed. I just wanted to hear your voice. Are you okay? Is your work treating you well?
She doesn't know I'm about to dismantle him. Better she hears it later. Work's fine, busy. Listen, Mom, I have to go. We'll talk soon.
On Susan's shelf, a framed photo of young Ashley at 12, the summer before the rent started.
She chose him over me for years. Now she gets to watch me take everything he has.
Late that night, Ashley drove to a storage unit at the city's edge. She hadn't touched the box in 10 years. Under old textbooks and a winter scarf, she found the black ledger. Cracked spine, clean pages, his handwriting.
He charged 5% weekly on late payments. Interest on unpaid debt, he'd explain. I'll compound it the same way.
She built a spreadsheet, compounding weekly interest from 1999 to 2005, then forward another 12 years. The total was severe.
That's what he owes for my childhood. Every cent with interest, until he understands what he took.
She drafted the consultancy agreement. Fair salary 1 year, but half each month would repay the debt. Non-negotiable. She photocopied the ledger and highlighted every entry with a yellow marker until his own numbers seemed to scream.
He'll recognize it instantly. His ledger, his numbers, now a weapon. I want him to feel each row.
She placed the photocopied ledger and the contract in her portfolio. The leather closed over 2 decades of silence.
In 12 hours, Robert Haskins will look at me and realize his stepdaughter just bought every mistake he ever made.
Morning sun hit the glass spire of Ashford Tower, where an aging construction magnate would soon learn that the past compounds like debt.
I fastened my watch, checked my seams, everything in place. He'll look at his shoes when he finally sees me.
In the lobby, Robert Haskins had been waiting since 7:40. His suit was a size too tight, his briefcase edges frayed.
Just listen to their terms, nod, whatever it takes to save it. Don't think about the past.
The elevator chimed. The doors slid open onto still marble. Ashley Reeves stepped out, her steps soundless, the portfolio a black blade under her arm. The conference room sat at the corridor's end, a glass box with the city sprawling mute below. Robert followed a junior associate inside, his eyes on the carpet, his pulse a dull thud in his throat. Through the glass, she was already there, hands folded on a leather portfolio, as still as a photograph.
He hasn't looked up yet. He never did. The door is opening.
Robert sat down opposite her, the chair sighing under his weight. He pulled a statement from his case, without once meeting her eye.
Thank you again for this meeting. Crestline has deep roots in the community. I'm confident you'll see the value.
Our analysis indicates your revenue is down 40% in 2 years. Explain the strategy that reverses that.
We had a few bad contracts, but the crew is loyal. I've been running jobs since before you were born.
Your liabilities exceed assets by a considerable margin. What makes you think a buyer should absorb that gap?
Because the brand still means something. I built it with nothing. This company is my life. You understand?
Your life. While mine was reduced to a weekly line in a book.
My ex-wife. She never understood. And my stepdaughter. I tried to teach her. Now she won't even take my calls.
Teach her? Is that the word he uses now?
Ashley's pen rested beside her portfolio, uncapped and waiting. She had rehearsed patience for 18 years. Ashley excused herself and walked to the restroom. The portfolio opened on the counter, the photocopied ledger staring up at her.
18 years. Every entry an hour stolen from my childhood. He'll see them all now.
She traced a finger along a highlighted row, then closed the portfolio with a quiet snap. Her reflection showed no hesitation. On the opposite side of the floor, Susan Haskins was guided into a small office by the firm's general counsel. The attorney opened a folder and read aloud. The acquiring entity is led by your daughter. She has a copy of the rent ledger your ex-husband kept, with interest calculated from 1999 to today. She says you have a right to know.
That ledger. I found it. I left him because of it. And now my baby girl is carrying it like a weapon. She wants me to see it. She planned this. And I deserve every second of it. No, I'm staying. I need to be there when it happens.
She returned to the lobby and sat on the couch near the glass wall. Through the partition, the conference room was visible, Ashley already taking her seat. Susan's purse rested on her lap. She did not reach for a tissue. She simply watched and waited.
Our firm is prepared to offer a fair market price for Crestline's assets, including retention of your existing crew.
That's more than I expected. You're saving jobs too? I thank you.
There is a role for you as well. A 1-year consultancy at your current salary to oversee transition.
I accept. Whatever terms you need, I'll sign.
There is one more thing. A personal condition, not part of the standard agreement.
Personal? I don't follow. What condition?
Ashley's hand moved to her bag, the leather portfolio on the chair beside her.
What is this about? If it's money, I already told you I'm open to adjust.
It's not about the company. It's about a debt you owe personally. One I intend to collect.
The room went very still. On the table, the consultancy contract lay unsigned, the pen beside it suddenly heavy. Ashley lifted a familiar black notebook from her bag and set it on the glass. The old ledger. His ledger.
What is that? Some kind of old record book? I don't see what this has to do with.
The pages fell open to a row of dates. 1999, 2001, 2005. Each entry meticulously highlighted in yellow.
That's my handwriting. That's June 5th, 1999, the first week. I haven't seen this in years.
His breath stopped. Slowly, he lifted his gaze from the book to the woman across the table.
No, that's impossible. You're not. You can't be.
Keep reading. You'll find every Friday, every dollar, from the day I was 12 until I walked out your door.
Ashley, it is you. After all these years, how?
There it is. He knows. Now the real negotiation begins.
The room held its breath. The company, the salary, the years of silence, all of it hung on the ledger's yellowed pages.
$14,800. That's what you took, week by week, while calling it character.
She slid a single printed sheet across the glass. The compound interest calculation ran to the bottom corner in neat columns.
This can't be right. That figure. It's more than most people earn in years.
It's exactly right. I applied the same interest rate you charged me, compounded weekly from 1999 forward.
She calculated it. Every missed payment, every week I marked in that book, she's turned it into a weapon.
The highlighted entries on the ledger seemed to glow under the conference lights, each one a weight he never expected to feel.
You can't expect me to pay this. It's absurd. I was just trying to teach you.
You can, and you will. Consider it a consultancy fee with a mandatory deduction schedule.
And if I refuse, you'll kill the deal?
The deal stands, but the consultancy won't, and neither will your chance to ever set foot in this building again.
I was just trying to toughen you up. It wasn't about the money. It was about building character.
And yet you kept every cent. Sent me a fake investment letter. That wasn't character. That was theft.
She's got it all mapped out. Every dollar, every lie. I'm 40 years older, and she's cornered me.
The company will survive. You won't. Refuse, and you walk out with nothing. No payout, no future.
So I'm supposed to just accept this? Become your employee for a year while you take half my check?
You'll be a consultant. Consider it character building. I learned that lesson well.
His jaw clenched. The reflection of his own handwriting flickered in the glass.
She's right. I did this. I put it all in that book and never looked back.
Ashley watched him crack, the way he'd once watched her count crumpled bills.
You have 5 minutes to decide. After that, I walk, and the deal dies. Before you decide, you should know, Susan is sitting in the lobby right now. She learned the truth 10 minutes ago.
Susan? No. You brought her here. After all these years, you brought her here.
His head turned before he could stop it. Through the glass wall, the lobby was a blur at first. On the far couch, Susan sat with her purse on her lap, her eyes fixed on him as if she'd been waiting decades.
I left him 3 years ago because of that ledger. Now I'm watching him face it.
Look at her, Robert. That's what your tough love cost you.
His chest heaved. The contract, the ledger, Susan, it all collapsed into a single unbearable weight. She did not smile, did not wave. She simply waited, as if giving him permission to do the right thing.
The 5 minutes are ticking, Robert. She's waiting. I'm waiting. What's it going to be?
He didn't answer. He just stared at Susan, and something inside him cracked open.
Is this it? If I sign, do I get a chance to earn her back?
Ashley said nothing. She simply pushed the consultancy agreement across the glass toward him.
She's watching. All these years, and she came to see if I can be something better.
His hand moved to the pen, then stopped. The silver barrel caught the light like a tiny gavel.
I never once said thank you. Not in 6 years of Fridays.
He's staring at the pen like it's a lifeline. Maybe it is.
He picked up the pen. The weight of it seemed to pull his whole body forward.
Maybe this is the first honest thing I've done since she was 12.
He didn't speak again. The agreement lay open, and through the glass the city hushed below. The nib touched the paper. The line waited, blank and irrevocable. The pen scratched across the paper, a sound sharper than any word he'd spoken all morning, louder than the silence that followed.
My name, Robert Haskins. The first time I've signed it with shame.
He lifted the pen and let it roll onto the table. The clatter echoed in the still room. A faint tremor still shook his fingers. Ashley pulled the documents toward her without a word, her expression unreadable, and uncapped her own pen. Her signature was clean, unhurried, the final line of a contract 18 years in the making, a receipt for a childhood sold by the week.
No trial, no verdict. Just a ledger, a pen, and the silent satisfaction of a debt reclaimed.
The junior associate stepped forward to initial the last page. The deal was sealed.
What now?
Now you report to work Monday morning. You start paying what you owe.
She closed the portfolio with a quiet click. Through the glass, the city stretched on, unmoved by the small war that had just ended. Robert pushed back his chair and walked toward the lobby. The glass door swung open without a sound.
He didn't look back. Maybe he couldn't. Not after signing away his pride.
In the lobby, the afternoon light fell across Susan, still sitting, her purse on her lap. She rose slowly, not smiling, not angry, just waiting. He stopped 2 steps away. Neither spoke. The distance between them was measured in more than feet. It was measured in 3 lost years and a $14,000 lie.
He signed it. He actually signed it. The man who never once said sorry. The man who kept a ledger.
She's giving him a chance. Not forgiveness. Not yet. I can see it in the way her hands shake.
Robert's hand lifted slightly, then fell back to his side. He seemed to be asking a question with his whole body, as if the answer might break him. Susan's hand rose, her fingers trembling, but she didn't touch him. Just held it open, an inch from his chest. And in that gap, the years hung, waiting for whatever would come next. A word, a touch, a forgiveness not yet earned.
I didn't know if you'd agree. I came here not knowing what I'd find.
I'll do whatever it takes. I've already lost too much. Don't let me lose you again.
She nodded once, a tiny movement barely visible from across the glass, and her hand closed the final inch to rest on his sleeve.
That's my cue. They don't need an audience.
She slid the photocopied ledger into her portfolio and left the original on the glass table, a black mark, scar-like, under the conference lights. The original ledger lay open, its pages yellowed, yet somehow lighter now, as if settling into silence. She walked out of the conference room, past the lobby without slowing, her eyes straight ahead. Through the glass, Robert had his head bowed. Susan's hand was now on his shoulder, light as a leaf that had finally decided where to land.
She'll decide if he's worth it. That's not my battle anymore.
The elevator chimed open. Ashley Reeves stepped inside, her back straight, and let the doors close on everything that had just happened. The elevator descended in a soft mechanical hum. Through the glass wall, the lobby shrank to a diorama of 2 still figures.
I've carried that ledger for 18 years. It's no longer mine.
The revolving door pushed her into the street. The air tasted of exhaust and distant rain, and the afternoon was ordinary.
He used his own pen against his own blood, and I used it to set us all free.
Her heels clicked on the pavement, a steady rhythm. The skyscrapers towered, but she did not look up. She paused at the corner, pulled the signed agreement from her portfolio, and stared at the last line, her own name, crisp and irrevocable.
The debt is paid. Not in money and power, in silence, in the look on his face when he saw the ledger.
She tucked the paper back into her bag and continued walking, the skyline glinting like a promise made only to herself. She did not look back at the glass tower. There was nothing inside it that could hurt her anymore. The afternoon stretched on, and so did she, a woman who had finally taken back every cent and every piece of her past without once raising her voice. At the next block, she paused beside a cafe. A couple laughed inside, ordinary and unaware.
That was me once, counting coins on a curb. No more.
She drew a breath that felt like the first one in years. Her shoulders dropped an inch, the pinstripe fabric relaxing with her. The city hummed around her, 1,000 lives, none of which owed her rent. She folded the agreement into her bag and smoothed the clasp, a ritual of finality. Then she walked on, a woman who had just closed the ledger for the last time and left it on a conference table like a tombstone.
There's a quiet power in walking away without a backward glance.
Overhead, the sky had shifted to a pale gold. The buildings caught the light, and for a moment, the whole city seemed to exhale. She kept walking, a stranger to no one, but finally at peace with herself. Some debts are paid with money, others are paid with silence. This one had been paid with both. Hours later, the conference room sat silent. The glass walls held nothing but the orange glow of a sinking sun. The old ledger lay where it had been left, pages open to 1999, the ink almost graying with age. Outside, the city burned its evening gold. Towers stood like silent witnesses to a transaction no headline would carry. A janitor passed beyond the glass, his cart humming low, but he did not enter. The black notebook was not his to disturb. The light shifted from gold to violet, the same color as the bruise that had lived under Ashley's ribs for 18 years, now fading. In another room, a portfolio rested on a desk, its clasp cool. The signed pages inside were already part of the record. The nameplate read, Ashley Reeves. No title could contain what she had just done. No plaque could hold it. The skyline glittered now, 1,000 offices lighting up, each a story of its own, but none quite like tonight. In the conference room, the ledger caught a draft and fluttered a page. The numbers from 1999 briefly rearranged themselves, then settled, as if exhaling. The past does not disappear, but it can be paid. And some payments are made not in cash, but in the perfectly measured weight of a closed chapter.